and welcome to the stream. We're about to jump into some Russian cash online PLO poker, explaining our thoughts as we go, helping you guys beat the game. And make sure you stay tuned in this one because we will be giving away 3 discount codes to anybody that is interested in our premium content, our latest premium content video. I will post the discount code at some point in the stream, and the first 3 people to use it will gain access to that completely free, so watch out for that. But let's jump into the action. And you can see in the chat we have the pin message that to our premium content, so that is where you will go to purchase, but obviously using the promo code, it will be free. Some pretty average kings against a very tight opening range over a lot of hands. I guess it's a little bit too good to fold, but against this range, we're never doing great. And on the flop, I think with the 5 and the king of diamonds, we're going to check back and then barrel some turns. I don't know how many folds we really get here. We do have some good blockers to use on the river. And we just don't really have much, like 4-5. We have some 6-8 or some wraps, but we don't block any of those from our opponent having them or having blockers to it. And then we river a card where we might get value towned on here. I don't think any reason to bet. We block one of the hands that could potentially call in jacks. So just a standard check back, probably lose to ace a decent amount. Or, I mean, he really had ultimate bricks there in terms of bluffing. And on the right, we turn a pair and then not gut shot and a diamond draw. It's the half pot size bet. We can go for a little raise here, and we do take it down. Not the best hand to call, tricky to play on rivers, and obviously blocking the nut with nut equity and some backup equity, and blocking diamonds as well. We don't often get jammed on. And weak flush draw on the left, just going to fold. And considering check raising on this board, don't have to go too large. Obviously we have some nut outs. We can start applying pressure to some of his overpairs. We block some of the continues with the 3 and have that backdoor equity. Pretty bad turn, I guess, when we have queen 10-10. We definitely have kings in his range, and more of the king combos are taken out of our range, given that you know, we 3-bet a decent amount of them against the cutoff. Not having a club as well, I'm not really too excited to bet. And yeah, I mean, against these continuing ranges on the flop, you know, I think the worst he shows up with here is like aces and clubs. So we'll let it go. And go to ISO on the left. And we flop 2 paired gut shot, weak flush draw. Not a hand I'm thrilled about getting it in against. So we will go check call here. And we get dunked into on the right. And I think for this sizing, I don't think we can fold in position. And then he checks back turn. I mean, I guess he can check back with ace jack, ace 10, but I don't think that we really get those hands to fold. I think we're likely gonna check call. Interesting bet on the flop there. And I don't think that we get to fold many flushes here. We do take it down. I have a wide ISO, to be honest. But having the ace is nice. Just blocking the limp raising ranges. Pretty unideal flop for us. And against 1BB, do we just want to raise? And we can't fold. And then ace queen 6-6. I think we want to defend. And on the right, we're gonna bluff this turn, blocking a lot of the turn draws, and then potentially going to check raise on the left. Might be a little aggro, to be honest. Yeah, against this large sizing, having top pair is nice, but with no backup. Just have such little room for improvement. And we're starting to get down to a lower SPR where equity is kind of going to be a bit more important. And yeah, not looking good in that spot with just the queen and maybe the 6 isn't out. Calamity, what is up? Justin, appreciate it. Appreciate the good luck as always. Good luck to you guys. Hopefully you're quick on the trigger and can grab yourself some free poker coaching videos. And blocking a pair and the ace of clubs, I think we're going to bet this. Do block a lot of the continues. And even with a pair blocker here, we'll probably potentially fire a couple of straights depending on whether we improve or not. So 2 pair. A nice hand on the right and decent hand on the left for the button. Not the flop we were looking for with the anti-diamond unblockers, basically ace king 9-9. Do we want a flat that's on the button? I think with a nut suit we can potentially raise. Yeah, it's not fun. We're just gonna get dominated so many times pre-flop, and I say this a lot. Steal a ton in this game, and then man, such good odds though. We gotta do it. And if we're not gonna barrel hands like, oh, problem is now when he bets this much, we're just gonna get so short that he's not gonna be able to fold. I think we're actually gonna let it go, given that we're this shallow. And on the right, with our spade, I'm gonna go for a small size here. Pretty delightful river. It's jammed on the left and folds. And then when we bet a third on the turn, I don't think King Queen's ever gonna raise us anyway, so I think we want to go pot. Obviously not a GT open here, but you know that I'm always going to raise quite loose from the cuff and the button. Not going to have any leads out of the big blind. Calling here, and it's just going to be folding to the squeeze. And on this flop, I don't love having the deuce, but there are obviously plenty of aces that we can cooler here. And we do unblock hearts as well. Pretty good flop on the right. But in terms of my range, I mean, I'm checking a lot here. But we do want to protect it with a check, and I think with the backdoor flush draw, I probably would have just check jammed this hand. He'll connect a lot, obviously, with King X, so I think we want to get some value here with a smaller bet. Could obviously run into kings, but can obviously fold the check raise. I mean, call a check raise. What's up, Jeffrey? How many hands do you play a month? Really depends. Depends on where the action is. I'm not like a crazy high volume kind of person. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe like 30,000-40,000, something like that. And on the right, I think with the backdoor flush draw, I potentially don't want to bet this top, even though we have good blockers and pretty bad playability going forward. And so obviously, great turn. I don't think that raising is going to make that much sense. Making it easier against his sets to play in position. We would need a premium there. Beautiful river. And when we call the turn, we will obviously have plenty of flushes in our range. You block some straight and pairs. I think it's quite hard to get value here. You get paid off. Yeah, I think probably... Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst call, I just Don't think that spot is too bluff there. Against the sizing, I mean, we're not folding, but we likely run into aces. When he checks back the turn, can we ever get called by a queen? I don't think so. I think our hand looks like 7x a ton. So I think we only really get called by ace x. I'm just gonna check and hopefully he like checks down a queen. Jacks, fair enough. Oh, excuse me. On this heavy board here, I mean, I'm pretty much going to be range bang half pot. Not a good board on the right for my 3-bet range 3-way. Get a 5 on the turn. And how many slow plays does he really have here? Because I will have strong hands like overpairs and gut shots. So, you know, he can have like a queen X and a gut shot. The 8 helps with playability on rivers. I think we're just gonna pot and ship it here. On the 9 turn with 2 overpairs, no clubs. Don't think we can fold just yet. Even though he does dunk into 2 people. And then definitely taking our showdown value here. The problem is that you can definitely have like some king X of clubs that was bluffing on the turn. But with a ton of draws missing, I don't think we get that hand to fold. Does just give up. Yeah, but as I said, Jeffrey, it really does depend in terms of hands a month. You know, obviously like heads up, tournaments, that kind of stuff changes a lot. You know, heads up games, I often play like, sometimes even playing just one table to just kind of like hyper focus on someone. So obviously, ends an hour kind of drops off there a good amount. Ace 7-3. I mean, with this really deep guy behind us, still think I just want to raise here. This guy's gonna just stack off with a lot. And aces with a 5 blocker, I mean, he just flats. Terrible board. Aces with a 5 blocker. I think we're gonna go ahead and bet. We reduce the chance of us getting raised here. You turn a 7 on the right, which is, I guess, helpful. But the ace of hearts, like, not really a great blocker once you get this shallow, because he's obviously never folding a flush. On this turn, I mean, guess we have to call. And I was actually going to check back anyway on the got it in against a7, and he rivered the straight, so he was free rolling us. Okay, fair enough. against this small size, I mean, I don't think we're ever folding. Good job if you have a 10. Yeah, we're gonna run into a 10 a ton there, but I mean, against whatever that was, 5th pot. Jonathan, what is up? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. What's your opinion about GJ's huge rig? Would you say it's possible to grind low stakes and climb the limits? So, one thing that's often a bit of a misconception about GG is that the reg structure isn't actually bad at some of the lower limit games. Some of the lower limit games, GG's reg will actually be better than a lot of other poker sites. And that's because they do it based on big blinds. So, and I can't remember the exact reg structure, but you can go Google it. You know, a lot of places, once it gets to like an, I don't know, like PLO 25 to like whatever plus, it's capped at $2, but capped at $2 right at like PLO 25. So at PLO 25, your reg is insane. But then obviously drops as you go up in limits. GG's like changes with the limits, like it's based on big blinds. So when you're playing like PLO 25, and I'm sure there's like a middle ground where it is and it isn't, at PLO 25, it's probably actually relatively low reg on GG. Now you do have the bad beat jackpot fee in there as well, which, you know, is technically part of your reg, but you will hit that sometimes. That's just obviously, it's going to take away edge against your opponents because you're going to get charged more reg and it's going to get distributed out randomly. So yeah, low stakes is not terrible. Like, you'll notice once you get above, once you get to like over 1-2 is where it becomes the problem, because they don't cap their reg anymore. So I think we check call on the left. We have the best hand nearly all the time here. So we want to just kind of try and pick off some bluffs. Like that. Oh, he had the deuce. Fair enough. Yeah, so I definitely think it's possible at the lower stakes, but once you get to 1-2 and above, it's like kind of wild how much they're charging. So I don't think it's too profitable at high stakes. On this board, we have some pretty good turns. And with my range, I mean, we unblock an ace, but there's not that many draws. You could argue that it's not fantastic. To continue betting here with 0 equity, but maybe we won't actually. You just run into ace X too much here, and ace X is just not going to fold. And check raise is not really believable, especially if he has an ace. Kings. Oh, I guess he had the gut shot as well on the flop. Fair enough. How many buy-ins you prefer if grinding 6 max, rush, and cash? How many buy-ins as in like bankroll management? Interesting question. We do have in the pipeline for YouTube kind of free content a bankroll management video. So look out for that one. That should answer a lot of your questions. But basically, you know, the standard is you start roughly, you know, 100 BB. This guy's pretty wide, so even though these are bad kings, we're just gonna raise fold. And backed off flush draw and check back. And how aggro? It's not really that aggro. We have basically no equity. And can't even really bluff with the 8 that much. I think we're just gonna give up. Little tight. Little tight. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so usually you start around 100 and then you sort of take a bunch of different factors as to whether you think you need more or less, right? So, you know, one of those factors is going to be what is your overall edge in the game, like what's your win rate. And I would say that likely your win rate at Russian cash is going to be lower than at reg tables or on most of the sites because of rake and other factors that I kind of talk about in my video, how to beat Russian cash. So yeah, I mean, I would likely think you probably want more than 100 buy-ins, just because your variance is naturally going to be higher. And this is just so often going to go four-way that I think we probably want to call, even though these are gross kings. And I'm actually going to check on the left, see if he bluffs 10-7. It's really the only hand I'm kind of worried about here. I don't think he has 10-10 or 7-7 that often. I think we're going to call. And he does runner. Kind of the only hand that we really lose to there. And small sizing with this guy behind. Just don't really want to play a continued deep pot with him. Especially when he just flops the nuts anyway. And then on the left, folding a hand that just is in that domination range a lot with kind of disconnected ace king, non-nut suit, that sort of stuff. Anders, what is up? What is up? Welcome to the stream, my friend. I realize I'm also always just like looking off to the side at the actual screen that I'm playing on. Like, should I? We have the camera over here a bit more. Don't know what you guys think. Don't think anyone cares, to be honest, but let's mix it up. Throw a wild card out there. I mean, you're not really folding many double suited hands when you get 3-bet. And here, against the pot size bet, I think with a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw, I'm thinking about doing some stuff here and getting a little spicier, but never folding, so. I think I like a stab on the right. I think it's snap pot wrist. Okay. We'll give that one up gladly. Just getting 3-bet out position all over the place here. As I mentioned, guys, make sure you stick around. We will be dropping a promo code in the chat at some point in the stream, and you can go to the link in the message that is pinned up at the top, and that will allow you to use that promo code and get that premium content video completely free. So definitely check that out. Let me know what you think. Always good to hear your guys' feedback in terms of what you want to see, what you like, what you don't like, so we can keep tailoring that content to suit your guys' needs. Queen 10 7 5. Queen 10 7 6, Queen 10 8 7. I wonder what the cutoff is for 3-betting here. That's pretty wide, so I'm just throwing a 3-bet. Flop lightfully. And pretty hard for him to find continues here. But I would just want to check. And actually gonna check on the left. Really kind of rep the ace's hand. We flop a pair and an open ender, defending on the right. And yeah, this is a little scary with the smaller sizing. I mean, we are very, very shallow. Guess we could just rip. Turn 2 pair with a blocker. And yeah, actually like leading here with a spade and a diamond, but no flush draws. And then on the deuce, does he ever hero call with worse, with like Queen X and a straight blocker? This is super thin. Super thin, but let's go for it. Come on, be my hero. No luck this time, no luck. And four-way, unfortunately, just folding with the parent gut shot. Kuba Kapek. I appreciate the good luck. You're gonna have to let me know how you actually say that name, because guys, I see you on here, and I'm probably just keep butchering it. Definitely going to be c-betting on the right bottom set. We unblock a ton of the continues. Not a hand that we want to check raise. Rough turn. Me checking a lot of my range. Justin, that is unfortunate. Bomb set here, no blockers to anything. Guess we just fold. Seems like a pretty good price, but can have some higher 2 pairs that cooler is. International break next week, yeah. I wouldn't advise going to a cricket match. No, I'm just kidding. Cricket is cricket can be pretty fun. You should, if you are going to go to a cricket match, see if there's any like 2020 games on. Those are like the like fast-paced ones that are, you know, over in a couple hours, compared to test matches which go on for a few days. So half pot on the right. I mean, it's gonna have very strong hands, but I just can't. I can't call this hand. We have a backdoor flush draw. Didn't see how sure he is, so this is a lesson for everybody to pay attention to what's going on, because now we put ourselves into a situation where we have to call against a draw. But yeah, that was drawing dead on the turn. Actually got it in pretty good, but you know, having that ace there obviously is a good hand to usually kind of raise. Potentially want to stack some other blockers, but small size, gonna call here. Probably have to defend this. With that flop, we should be okay. And actually gonna check it back. It's so dry, so hard to find continues. And an open ender as well. All right, so the question from Jonathan is, would you grind PLO with low bankroll, or would you prefer to work regular job and deposit more later and play with more buy-ins in a little bit higher stakes? So this is my take on that, and it will be very different for many people. So there's two ways to look at it. First way is that you're going to make more money at pretty much any regular job, and if you want to go do that, if we're talking about like very low stakes, you're going to make better money at basically any other job, and you know, you'll be able to, you know, build up a bankroll and get out of like the rake trap, you know, quicker. The flip side of that is, if you are still working your job, still comfy, still chilling, I want to say chilling, but you know, studying, playing when you kind of want to, feel like it, it's not one representative of how actually playing poker for a living and grinding is going to be. But also, you're not going to study as hard as you would. You're not going to progress as fast as you would than if, and I'm not recommending this, that if you just quit your job and you are forced into a spot whereby, you know, it was now becoming like your livelihood of like being able to pay rent. Like, are you going to study harder if you're, you know, potentially going to be homeless this month? You know, like that sort of stuff, you know, drives you a lot harder when you get beat, or when you start to tilt, and you know, you have the comfort of your job and you just put something online and you're like, okay, I'll just play with this. You know, you can make those kind of bad decisions and not really think about it too much or have a massive impact, because you kind of have the safety of your regular job. So I think it's two fronts. I think it's more motivational if you are like trying to make it grinding, but I think all in all, I would probably just take your time, do a full-time job, study with as much motivation and as hard as you can, and then you know, kind of come in at higher stakes, because it's pretty miserable. Like, not to put a downer on it, but like poker in general, once you start just playing hands and you're just like pure volume, you need to just make like X amount, you know, it becomes a grind, it becomes a job, and you know, that's just the reality of it. And you've got to have ways to kind of keep it interesting, and one way to keep it very interesting is if you can play when you feel like playing rather than when you have to play, which is what happens when you get to those higher stakes. You can be more selective about the games. So I don't think I answered the question. I know I kind of went around in circles there, but those are kind of my thoughts that I would consider if I was doing it all again. Do you play other sites than GG? If so, what's your second favorite site and why? Oh, I don't ever play on GG outside of streaming. I only play on GG because it's like a nice, visual. It works well with streaming. People are kind of familiar with it and like it. I play on I do play tournaments on GG. Tournaments on Coin, some cash on Coin, although I haven't in a bit. And then there's when I'm in the US, I play on Ignition. Do we want to raise here? We do have a diamond and an ace, so it makes it a little less likely that we can like stack 6-3. More likely we run into 6-10. So yeah, I play a lot of Ignition when I'm in the US. And there's a couple other poker sites I play, but I'm not going to mention the names of those because they are smaller and I get some good action on there. We have to check back a decent amount on this jack turn, so we could have elected for a check back there with the ace of diamonds and the straight draws covered as well. And queen 5-5 do block a lot of the continues, a lot of the raises. Do we ever want to lead here? I think it's a little bit too heavy and connected to want to lead out of the small blind. I think position probably becomes a bit more important. And we do turn a set with the blockers and the flush draw now, so we are going to bet. And Jack's going multi-way here on the button. We do have a short stack though. And pretty bad river. I think we're gonna check and maybe check raise, but probably just give up. I don't know that guy knows he had a straight. Or that he had the second nuts. I wonder how it's possible to hold 4 cards and be card dead for hours. This game is something else. I mean, not folding much in position, but this is probably a premium hand to fold. Jeffrey, prefer more premium content and videos than the spreadsheet like content, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I kind of just like started. That was stuff that I kind of put together separately and has been put in on that page just because it was what was done first. But all of the stuff that will be added to that is going to be the video format stuff now. So the new video we have out, there's going to be maybe like a 3-part series, maybe more. I mean, we'll focus on some different flops as well. But yeah, so it's really all going to be like the video soft content for the most part anyway, unless something else comes up that people are interested in. Do we ever want to raise here? I don't think so. Not blocking a pair. I have so many king, jack. And I don't think that he checks back much king jack, jack jack on the turn, so I think that we have a pretty reasonable bet here. Might even size up. Have a hand like king 4, I guess. It's not gonna fold. But if he has like king, you can't have king X with hearts. Yeah, I don't know what a hero calls us with here. Thought we were deeper on the right. Did we get stacked or something? What happened? What happened? Still don't think our hand's really strong enough to lead on this turn. And I guess pretty good bluff catcher. I mean, we could bet thin for value. I guess I'm blocking a king. We probably want to bet. And he's never calling anyway. And raising here because this guy's tight. King 10, 10, 6. Just gonna fold here. And it's potentially gonna open. This guy's not that tight. I guess he's pretty tight in the lines. Justin, what do you recommend for a study path? Mastermind should redo their older stuff, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you have been, the mastermind is great, right? Like, I would definitely recommend, and I have been through. Links still suck. I don't know what that means because I just clicked on it in the chat and it worked fine, so I'm not sure what's going on there. What's my recommended study path? I don't know what, like, okay, one sec. Figure this out because I'm not sure what is going on with you guys in the chat. Yeah, I don't know what's going on because all of my links work. The link in the chat seems to work. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. It's working perfectly for me. Oh yeah, no, I thought you were saying the link doesn't. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I thought you guys were saying that the link doesn't work. All of the links work. As I said, and I wrote in the message, it's the first 3 people that use the code. When the code comes out, it's limited at 3. So the first 3 people that put it in got it. So if you are getting an error message, that unfortunately means that you likely missed out on this one, but we will have some more chances on the premium content side. Jonathan, what's your thoughts about GG's PPI concept where people who are winning are getting less right back points than whales? Well, from your perspective, it sucks. From my perspective, it sucks. But when you think about how a poker site wants to operate and make money, I mean, it's pretty smart, because it's really confusing for pros to figure out exactly what's going on. Well, I mean, it's not. I put in some of my content how you can do that, but you know, it makes it less clear for pros, and recreationals aren't even thinking about that. So all they see is that they get a bunch of money back. It keeps them playing longer. It keeps the rec spinning around. It's just everything that GG does to reduce your edge in the game. And ideally, that's what they want, right? The perfect poker site, nobody ever has an edge. Nobody loses money. All they do is pass money back and forth between each other. And at the end of the day, all you're doing is paying out rake, right? Like, that's their ideal situation. So they'll do everything that they can within limit to achieve that. And, you know, at a certain point, if they go too far and, you know, every pro that they have drops off their site, well, I mean, maybe they don't care about that. Checking most turns here and unblocking soft hearts, and you know, not as much playability on the river. I think we want to check raise here. Having the single heart though, and the 7. Hands like Jack 10-9. We can basically get our whole stack in. We'll run into Queen 10 a lot, obviously. How many years you played poker? Tell us more about your journey. Well, I mean, I've played for probably 15 years or so at this point. Ooh, double suit at 7744. Oh no, single suit. Like 15 years back in the full tilt days, I used to be, you know, on more of the recreational side of Hold'em. And yeah, I was kind of like into finance and stats and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, I started playing PLO in a house game. I don't know at this point. Probably 10 years or so, something like that, and like fell in love. And then just really started being way more interested in PLO. Completely stopped playing Hold'em. And then, yeah, a few years of my life where I did nothing but wake up, study, go to the gym, play poker at night, try and make my money, wake up, study, and just kept doing that for many years. So interesting that you call it a grind. I've been full-time for over 2 years and I still wake up most days excited to play. Yeah, I don't look, I love it. Like, I'm not saying that I hate it. What I'm saying is that it's very different than I think what most people expect a poker life is like. That's how I look at it. I don't necessarily think, man, playing poker full-time sucks. It's just, it's different than playing it for fun, right? I mean, you still definitely have fun as a job, but yeah, I just want to clarify the difference, because that's one thing that definitely opened my eyes to going from being more recreational to full-time. On the right, we got shot on a heart. Check it back. We'll check it back. We want to ISO with this hand specifically so we can hopefully push out some draws. Doesn't look like we're gonna get to. We'll check back a lot of king x. We do have a spade and we do have a heart and a flush blocker, so I'm actually gonna bet here. Obviously calling it off on the left against the aces, but we're kind of uncovered everywhere else. Let's run it 3 times. And when we get called, I'm just gonna give up. We're gonna lose all 3 on the left? No, we're not. Oh my god. All right, we got a third out of it. Not too bad, not too bad. Soft games and gambling addictions, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those interesting jobs, right? And that's what my parents even said to me as well. They were like, because I told them, and I was the same as you, Anders. I was like, I just love this. I love everything about it. I love figuring out the game. I love, you know, the competition every day. Like, it's fantastic. And I worked, you know, probably more than I have at any other like job in my life. And my parents were like, well, how do you know what's work ethic and what's addiction when you're in this sort of career? Which, you know, is a fair question. Fair question. I think it's a pretty fine line. We do have quads on the right. No straight flushes available, unfortunately. Maybe a 4 on the river? Get called again. Snap call. Queen, queen. Queen X. With a 9-10, I think I am going to check this one back with no club. He will have overpairs and clubs that don't want to lead this board. I just want to check jam on me, so we'll play some turns. That is not a good one. Although we do have an ace, he'll have some kings as well. I'm gonna squeeze these kings. I think with a gut shot and no club, we probably do want to call here. And we get the jam for 5 bigs. And I mean, we'll just run into aces so much here. Although I do have him tagged as a little bit wild. Man. I say to myself every time, don't bluff catch, but... Kings. Yeah, that was the one hand that we were afraid of. Yeah, I've really cut down on my bluff catching when I or tried to in these pools, but I guess the note that I had on that player cost me there. Soft games gives me PTSD. I hear that a lot. People don't want soft games, apparently. And didn't talking in the chat, didn't realize it's 3-bet pot here. Half pot got shot back to flush draw. I mean, this is why we should lead a hand like this for kind of like half pot, because it's not fun to check call, but we have a ton of equity. So who actually got the videos, guys? Just silently creeping in the chat or what? Makes me anxious stacking off pre. Come on, Calamity, you gotta ride those roller coasters that you keep telling us about. Just get the money in, close your eyes. He's actually 3-betting at a pretty high clip here, so I actually quite like this bluff. Couldn't ask for a better flop. We'll get called by some flush draws that we're doing alright against. Not doing great against that hand. Somehow win both. Ship it. Ship it. Not the best, not the best. But we're not going to fold that much in position at 100 bigs deep. I think we probably just want to check back. We have some decent blockers, no club though. And obviously a king or a jack is pretty good for us. That is not great for us. Obviously never checking back aces or ace-8, so we'll have a lot of checkbacks on this turn. Or some small size bets with some of our weaker flushes. Yeah, no worries, Jeffrey. We definitely want to get more people interested in checking out that premium content as we kind of build it up. So there'll be some more of those happening in future streams, but apparently they go pretty quick. So you guys got to figure out getting that down in terms of using the code quickly. Maybe we'll potentially give away some more. And no straight blockers. Just gonna fold here on the turn, and then on the left, blocking some of the straight draws he could continue with. Non-nutted equity. It's a decent check back. Turn 2 pair. So now on this turn we can obviously just call. Pot size bet on the straightening turn. Interesting. We do a river the third nut. Goes for the pot size bet now. We'll have some queen jack 10 hands. I really want to raise, but I guess it's not really doing this with like 8-8. Yeah. We do is just fold out those bluffs. Clammy called it. The hit and run. The hit and run on the free giveaway. Probably not even interested in PLO, just gotta get their hands on something free when it's available. Oh, Jeffrey, nice. Well, I'm glad you got it, my friend. Yeah, definitely let me know what you think about it. You know, you can obviously leave reviews on there, or you can like message me on Discord if you ever want to chat or make suggestions about how to improve. And all of you guys can message me or in the suggestions in the Discord channel about what sort of topics that you would like to see. As I said, the next two or three will be completing the barreling turns in position. But looking to try and get one out at least once a week or so. Pretty good board to bet for us, obviously. But I mean, we have kind of the anti-blockers to this hand, and I snap checked here. I don't really love it in terms of hands that are gonna bluff, and we unblock a lot of the checkbacks, not having a king in our hand, etc. We river some showdown. I mean, do we just let this guy have the easiest run of his life with kings here? I mean, that'd be kind of sad, but okay. We were pretty crushed. Calamity, I developed strong love-hate relationship with PLO. Love the game, but my role hates it. That's never good. That's never good. Loose opens, but again, playing in tighter games, you can kind of get away with this a little bit. Unfortunately, it's one of the single suited hands that we probably have to call this 3-bet. I'm very deep actually, so we'll call. Just enough equity on the flop to have to call again. We're very deep. I mean, we can't fold, but raising's interesting as well. Is he just gonna stack up with aces though? guess he is. Okay, fair enough. Jack 10 9 4. Okay. Okay. Pretty interesting. Lose the first. Obviously on the bink bink. I mean, what is this? What is this? 200 big blinds deep. What is he doing, people? That pot size bet here. I need. Oh shit, we could have raised. Actually, no. It's three-handed. Just paying attention on this board. What is this guy doing? All right, well, I mean, definitely want to look at that after. I actually quite like how play. I mean, we obviously got it in with pretty good equity, given what was going on. And on this river, I think we probably want to bluff. Unblocking 9 8 3 4. And we get it through. This was something. This was something. I mean, I get it for 100 big blinds for sure. So we just check down here. Take our short on value with a 9. It's the set of 9s. Up top 2, no straight blocker. With a club here, unlikely that he has a straight. I think we want to bet. Bet? I mean, we're still somewhat deep enough. Can't really check raise now though. Kind of gross. Probably won't fold a flush to a pot size bet. I think we just give up. All right, well. Didn't think we would see the Jack 4 there. Guess I'm still on that hand. I can 3-bet again, slightly deep here with the Queen 10 8 8. Expect to see a small c-bet for range here. Not going to be folding the overpair just yet. It will be now. Yeah, Justin, I mean, sorry, Jeffrey, it's definitely a lot of information on that kind of flop spots betting frequencies. Um, but it's kind of more of a guide to use in terms of your like conceptual thinking about how ranges interact. So like you can jump to different sections and see, you know, what sort of boards are good for me. Okay, this makes sense. You know, why is this Jack 9-5 better than this Jack 9-5 in this particular spot? So it's more that standpoint. I mean, you definitely don't want to be thinking about it in terms of trying to memorize frequencies at all. And I mean, we don't really have much, many threes in our EP open calling range here. So we're gonna be pretty crushed a lot of the time. And then check calling on the right. Nice turn. I think check calling's good with the King of Hearts and the 9 there as well in terms of potentially inducing some bluffs. And obviously plenty of equity against whatever he has. Pretty good river. So what hands does he bet this size with? Obviously straight minimum. We have the 9, which is nice, blocking the straights. We don't have any pair blockers. But does he check back Jack Jack? It's oh. So he does have the 9-8. Don't think we could have a bad bluff catcher there, really. Unless we had a pair blocker as well. Yeah, taking notes is absolutely critical. Watching training videos, because too often you just watch them passively and you don't actually pick up anything. And then the stuff that you do pick up, you'll forget within a week or so. And so you'll either have to go back and watch the video, which, you know, you probably don't always have time or want to do. And so then it kind of gets wasted. So taking notes is definitely something you guys should be doing. Did I miss the biggest pot? Yes, you missed a close to 500 BB pot. Not a great turn on the left. Everything completes. So we will check back. And then checking back on the left with no equity or real blockers. He led the flop for pot. I figured could potentially get him to fold some over pairs that might pot that board, still thinking that we're playing a regular 3-bet pot and not 200 big blinds deep. And he ended up jamming with like 10-4. So yeah, it was a pretty interesting spot. But we still got it in with decent equity. Definitely can't complain. Pretty much when you have bottom set on most boards, you're going to be betting range. I mean, you unblock so much of the continuing range. Good card for us. Obviously, we can run into like King 9. But a lot of those combos are raising the flop. Tempted to just fold. Doing block a 9. Some people, but we have an ace in our hand. I'm tempted to just fold, to be honest. I think it'd be too knee, but oh, I think we should have just folded the turn. I guess we fold with no king or queen. And likely getting cooled on the left as well. And 10-5-5. Sure. Scoop them both. Win a stack back. One for the good guys. All right, I think we're probably gonna wrap this one up shortly. Pretty tired, been a long day. I'm gonna start streaming a bit in the morning before I actually grind, get a bit more energy in there. Snap check back. Good card for us, obviously, to be betting. Given that we block the straights, we block pairs. Ace is very strong power range compared to his. Take it down. So guys, I know a lot of you probably didn't get the free content with the code. However, you can still purchase it, guys. It's only $20. It's like a 40-minute video. Some pretty good concepts in there. Got some good feedback so far. A lot of 5-star reviews. So definitely check it out. And check out PLO Poker Coaching .com in general. You can get a free session there for 30 minutes, and we can discuss your game and your strategy for improvement. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me, guys. I'll be traveling this weekend, so probably will be back streaming again next week. But as always,